the mood for a little trip, I can take you to Varden.
My friend, Raz is happy to see you, but surprised you didn't help me with these creatures. Not that Raz needed any help. You must tell me what brought you to Somerset after you agreed to assist Raz with his usual cloak and dagger business. Ominous. No more than usual, my friend. But there's work for the Queen's Eye, and this one could use an extra blade if you're willing. Queen Irene issued a decree to open the borders of Somerset and allow outsiders to have access to the island. That's what Raz said, but rumors reached the Queen. So this one made the journey and was immediately attacked by strange creatures. Raz doesn't think the two are related, but if you could ask some questions, check on the newcomers, that would help. While you ask questions around the city, Raz can take care of some other business. Raz never saw such monsters in his life. They appear related to water, but this one tends to avoid the stuff. That pearl, though, Raz swears it was calling those creatures. A mystery for another time, perhaps. Now, we need to see to the newcomers. As a matter of fact, Raz made a list. Old Newell, a high elf artisan, spoke out. See what she complained about. Then there's Soxolza, a persecuted Argonian newcomer. Finally, Ranul, a city resident noted in the Divine Prosecution's observation log.
Not that you'd understand the concept, but the path to Alaxon requires dedication and complete concentration. I must find the perfect shells, or my pigments will be substandard. And do you know what that will do to my art? Exactly. An ultimate concept practiced widely here in Somerset. Alaxon is the state of perfection that every high elf strives for. The path to Alaxon represents the approach we take to achieve that state. Now, why have you interrupted my work? I believe in caution as much as the next high elf, but sometimes the rules get in the way of common sense. My apprentice lived here for more than a year. Good help is so hard to find, especially among the newcomers. And she was adept at making dyes. They took her away. Said they had to scrutinize her qualifications, test her knowledge of culture and etiquette. But I haven't seen her since. My work suffers, so of course I complained to the monks. Now I have to gather my own shells. They told me I could fill out some forms and appeal to the kin lady. But who has time for such bureaucracy? And for a wood elf? I've said too much. I have work to do, and all this aggravation has diverted my path to Alaxon. Perfection requires constant vigilance, so back to it.
Newcomer in the warehouse district. Unusual. But how can I help you today, my friend? The Divine? Who told you that? If a justiciar sent you to try and trick me into confessing, No, no. The High Elves would never send a newcomer to perform such a task. But I admit it. I made my thoughts known. I arranged to bring my cousin here to work with me. The ship arrived, but all the newcomers were carted away. For questioning, they said. I complained to the kin lady and anyone else who would listen. And what has it gotten me? Nothing! Oh, my... Summerset is a rare and beautiful jewel in the Abetian Sea. I love it here. The High Elves treat us like children, but they have never been hostile. The Queen's decree has stirred the waters, though. I fear it will get worse before it gets better.
Why have you closed the monastery?
Good people, I hear your concerns.
For the workers I hired, they were aboard...
Such anger! Raz never expected to hear such words from the Queen's loyal subjects. The sentiment isn't universal, but enough feel this way for Raz to be concerned. Did you learn anything interesting from the people I sent you to talk to? Sequester? Just a different word for imprisoned, yes. Ranul's cousin just arrived, but Old Newell's assistant has lived on Summerset since long before the Queen ever issued her decree. What about the lizard? What did Solza have to say? Why would the Aldar gather up newcomers and non-High Elf residents alike and send them to the monastery? Does the kin lady condone this behavior? Raz's head itches, and not in a good way. Our course is clear, Five Claw. We must go to the monastery. Raz admires your enthusiasm, but this one needs you to enter the monastery on your own. Raz has other fish to catch. This one will help you get past the sentry, though. When you notice that the sentry is distracted, just sleep quietly inside. That game of cards and has come to pay.
Well, I don't recall any. You say I won some gold?
Don't you?
No, not now, please. Your spiritual well-being can wait until after my nap. You'll have to ask one of the monks that the new Aldork brought with him. They deal with all the newcomer testing and evaluations. I'm just a simple monk trying to catch up on my sleep. That was a hint, by the way. Aldork Tilkala arrived right after the Queen issued her decree. He came highly recommended by King Lady Avanice, or so I heard. It's not unusual for monks to form attachments and move together, but there's something strange about that bunch. The Aldork and his monks keep to themselves. They've taken the Undercroft for their own purposes and ordered the rest of us to avoid the ancient vaults beneath the monastery. Now, please, let me get back to my nap. Again with the questions about the newcomers. Why do you care about the complexities of Altma bureaucracy? Still, if I had to make a guess, I'd say they were taking into the Undercroft for registration and processing. Now go away. The monastery should be a place of peace and meditation. The Aldork has closed us down until further notice. That means if any of the monks spot you, they'll raise the alarm. Me? I never saw you. Now, if you don't mind, my nap awaits.
Unusual knick-knack for an Aldark's office, wouldn't you agree? I noticed you skulking around while I was engaged in some skulking of my own. I suppose we both came to the monastery with a similar purpose in mind. The sequestered newcomers. I came to find out what happened to a friend. I assume that's what brought you here as well? A house of worship shouldn't be used as an internment camp, and it shouldn't be locked to the public either. Interesting. I've never seen anything quite like it. I find it intriguing and a bit disturbing. But we aren't here to discuss curios. Strange creatures notwithstanding, we need to find out what's happening with the missing newcomers. The sentry doesn't appear to have stopped you, so I could ask you the same question. Let's just agree that we both have our methods. Curious, but I feel that there's more going on in Shimmerine than the usual politics and community relations. That's the question, my cautious friend. We have a newly appointed Aldark and a disgruntled kin lady, both opposed to the Queen's decree. What's their connection to the missing newcomers? I was about to explore the Undercroft. Care to join me? A curious pearl. I wonder where the Aldark acquired it. Probably not important. I'll meet you in the Undercroft, and we can see what's going on with the newcomers.
You can't stay. You just can't.
This isn't the town square. Move along.
Something's wrong down here. I sense magic. Vile magic. Cages? These people did nothing to deserve such treatment. There's someone alive over there. See if you can help her.
Thank the Divines! You aren't one of the monks. Please, let me out of here. It's a nightmare. We came to Summerset to seek new opportunities. We barely stepped off the ship when they marched us to the monastery. Instead of questioning us or the usual high elf bureaucracy, they locked us in these cages. The monks gathered them a few moments ago and took them through the door on the far...
Is that a scoffin?
Oh, thank you for setting me free.
A Daedra? Here? And that's a scoffin, if I remember my Daedric recitations correctly. Very curious. An excellent question, and one I hope to find the answer to. From the evidence before us, it appears this Nord killed the Scoffin before he succumbed to his own wounds. Good for him. I found this key on the creature's belt, so we can open that door. Then I suggest we pick up the pace. We need to determine what's actually happening down here, and who's behind all this. Without answers to those questions, we won't be able to decide on our best course of action. I'll explain everything later. For now, we need to hurry.
newcomers? Unfortunately, the magic only affects those who have been prepared. But never fear, your turn will come.
I'll deal with the pearl. You hold off these creatures. The pearl's magic attracts these creatures. Hold them off while I complete my spell. Come on, let's talk outside. Those poor people. This wasn't just about newcomers and opposing the Queen's decree. That was Daedric magic back there. I just wish we had arrived a few moments earlier. I promised to explain what I know. I suppose that now's as good a time as any. I'm a member of the Sigic Order. Our Right Master sent me to investigate a warning we received about a plot involving Summerset. My inquiries led me here. The Sigic Order is an ancient magical monastic society. We served as advisors to the rulers of Tamriel, but that was before we removed our island home from the world. Now this threat has drawn us back. But why are you involved in all this? An Eye of the Queen? Interesting. I diffused the Daedric magic and transported the pearl to Artaeum, the Sigic island, for safekeeping and study, so we can learn more about it. But we can discuss this further once we get out of here. Living on Artaeum for a few centuries doesn't prepare you for physical activity. Let the Eye of the Queen know what we discovered, and I'll catch up with you later.
I suppose...
Ah, this one's new partner returns. What interesting scandal did you uncover in the monastery? Tell Raz every juicy detail. That isn't the kind of scandal Raz was hoping for. Murder, Daedric rituals, and traitorous behavior have a way of ruining an otherwise perfect day. We need to learn the extent of the Kin Lady's involvement, and by we, Raz means you. Accuse? Not exactly. Raz wants you to talk to her. See what she knows about the Oldar. The Kin Lady is meeting with local leaders. Attend that meeting and learn the truth. This invitation and set of elegant clothes will get you through the door. A Sijik? Raz has heard rumors, but there are always rumors about the Sijiks. For an island of sages who disappeared more than 300 years ago, they certainly seem to get around. Did this Sijik mage say what the Order was investigating? There was a life-sucking pearl. You should probably have led with that bit of information. Well, we can worry about the Sijik mage and figure out where these pearls came from later. For now, go see what the Kin Lady has to say. Kin Lady Avenice and Raz do not get along. You see, there was a horse, a platter of pudding tarts, and... No. This one won't bore you with the sordid details. Besides, everyone behaves well when they see Raz. You will learn more than I would.
Yes? And whom? The kin lady is currently...
Regarding the Queen's decree, I assure you that I am working with all Dark T'Challa to safeguard the sanctity of Shimmery and all of Somerset. Enjoy the food and drink. Business of the city requires my attention, but I shall rejoin you shortly.
How bold of you. You heard that somewhere, did you? I'll have to have a discussion with the Divine Prosecution about how lax our security has become. No, I jest. The kin lady and I have nothing but the best interests of Somerset and the newcomers in mind. You really are well informed about things here in Shimmery, aren't you, for a Nebarah? You're right, where are my manners? Using a word you couldn't possibly be expected to understand. It means unwelcome. As in, you are not welcome here. That's a serious accusation to toss around so casually. What did you say your name was again? I want to make sure to add it to the Divine Prosecution's observation log. For your own protection, you understand. I suddenly remembered some business I need to deal with as well. Feel free to pester the other guests in my absence.
How dare you barge into my home without so much as a bow? No, I refuse to deal with one of the Queen's guests, especially not in my own home. How did you get in here, by the way? No, never mind that. Since you found your way in, I assume you can find your way back out, before I call the guards. Such innocence. You really want to know why I oppose the Queen's order to allow newcomers to enter Somerset? Because I'm trying to protect both the island and the newcomers. It's in everyone's best interest that we maintain a separation. Aldark T'Challa came highly recommended. He has grand plans for protecting Shimmerine. Grand plans. Unfortunately, in my haste to deal with the Queen's decree, I may have made an error in judgment. Not that it's any concern of yours, but my Chancellor has been unable to verify the Aldark's existence prior to when we met, and I recommended him for the position at the monastery. I assure you, Kin Lord Millenthal praised T'Challa to no end. That's preposterous. Aldark T'Challa sequesters the newcomers to ascertain their suitability for life in Somerset. Those who pass will find a place here. As for the rest, they'll be returned to wherever they came from. That's what we agreed to.
My lady, one of the monks said to deliver this message. It's from the Aldark himself.
The Coral Forest. An odd location for a meeting, but I need to hear the Aldark's explanation.
Psst. Pretend you are adjusting your boot or admiring the architecture. As hard as it may be, look anywhere but directly at Raz. Good, good. Now, tell Raz what you learned at the King Lady's manor. Raz thinks Avanice is as naive as she is complicit, but she is not a murderer. This new Oldark, though, has so much blood on his hands, it looks like he's wearing red gloves. From what I could discover, he didn't exist before he came to Shimmerine. The Coral Forest? A strange meeting place. Raz thinks we should go and see what the Oldark is up to. After I take back that outfit, I might need it again later.
I'm glad I found you. While watching the King Lady's mansion, I saw her ladyship sneak out the back and leave the city.
The King Lady is meeting the Oldark in the Coral Forest. Raz smells something, and it isn't moon sugar biscuits.
Your reputation precedes you, Eye of the Queen. I am Valserin of the Sijic Order, and I agree that the Oldark is more than a simple monk.
We should work together, yes, but let's travel separately to avoid attracting unwanted attention. Raz will find you both at the Coral Forest.
one of Somerset's more unique environments, the Coral Forest. I used to love coming here when I was growing up. We need to find out why the Aldark asked Kin Lady Avanice to meet him out here. Based on what we saw in the monastery's undercroft, I'm hesitant to use magic to locate them. I suppose we'll have to find them through mundane means. Too bad the Queen's spy isn't here yet. I understand he's good at this sort of thing. The Aldark. We'd better hurry.
Come, Nevarra. Let me show you the power bestowed upon me by the Prince of Yagra. Destroy these fools.
Razumdar apprehended the Kin Lady. They're at the west edge of the Coral Forest. What happened to Aldark Tilkalar? Did he escape? I think we can conclude that Tilkalar wasn't actually an Aldark. At least, not with his connection to the Prince of Bargain's Clavicus Vial. Strange magic and creatures worry me, however. Hopefully the pearl I sent to Artaeum can tell us more. You'd be surprised what a particular object can reveal if you know how to unlock its secrets. I need to return and tell Right Master Ichesis all that transpired here. If you're willing, I'd like you to come to Artaeum and confirm my story. The Right Master leads the Psijic Order from Kapora Tower on the island of Artaeum. This spell attunes you to a portal near Shimmerine in the ruins of the Keep of 11 Forces. It always leads to Artaeum, no matter the island's current location. One more adjustment and there! You are now attuned. Find me on Artaeum after you finish with the Eye of the Queen.
Ah, Five Claw. The Kin Lady and Raz. Queen Irene will be disappointed that the King Lady of Shimmerine allowed a false Aldark to murder so many newcomers. Such a scandal makes other travelers uneasy about coming here, yes? The Prince of Bargains. That could only be Clavicus Vile. What oblivion-inspired nest of vipers has Raz stumbled into? This one has a very bad feeling about all of this. Where is the Sijic sage? Raz would like to ask her what she thinks. The Sijic Order's interest in all of this concerns Razumdar. This one has never had much love of magic, or those that practice the art. On the other hand, now Raz has his own person on the inside. An Eye of Raz, if you will, yes? Then you must go to Arteum and discover what the Sijics have learned. When you return, you can tell Raz all about it so he can pass it along to the Queen. Yes.
Have you come to gloat? To kick me while I wallow in my own misery? Well, go ahead. I deserve it. I met him at Kinlord Millenval's party in Eleanor. We had similar ideas about the Queen's decree, and I recommended that he lead the monastery. Summerset isn't a stew pot, and the various races aren't ingredients to be sprinkled in like so much spice. What a hateful accusation. Tilkala told me he was going to send them back where they came from. I had no idea he planned to kill them. I give you my word. I just wanted the newcomers to go away. And to find out he worshipped Daedra? How crude. I certainly hope not. We'll have to get the divine prosecution in there to gather up the monks Tilkala brought with him to Shimmerine. We can't have Daedric cultists desecrating a holy site. I suppose I need to beg for mercy from the proxy queen.
Tell of your devout work at the holy site of Torina.
And there was no sign of Lathan. I don't know whether to be grateful or concerned.
We'll find him, Val. Now go check on the... What a rare honor Valcerin bestowed upon you. Only a select few not of our order have ever walked upon this sacred island. Val tells me your aid was indispensable in uncovering the false Aldoc's plot on Summerset. Unfortunate, certainly. The magic you describe sounds familiar, though I can't quite recall where I've heard of it before. I fear the pearls may be a harbinger of the threat Sothasil warned us about. Sothasil, one of the living gods of the Dark Elf Tribunal. He's an honorary member of our order. After an attack on his clockwork city, he warned us about a Daedric threat to Summerset and Artaeum. I sent Valcerin to investigate. Indeed, but not until we finish studying the pearl Valcerin brought us. There are mysteries to unravel, and Val believes you will be instrumental to our success. We can get started immediately, unless you want to explore our island first. The next step involves a thorough examination of the strange pearl you and Valcerin recovered from beneath the Shimmerine Monastery. Hopefully, we can learn more about the false Aldark and the source of the pearl's magic. We are the Psijic Order, friend of Valcerin. There is very little we cannot accomplish through the application of the old ways. Every object remembers its history. The trick involves selecting the correct ritual to reveal those buried memories. While I head inside to begin the augury ritual, I'd like you to go to Sothasil's study in the tower, find my acolyte, Oriandra, and ask her for Sothasil's amplification elixir. We may need it if the pearl proves to be resistant to our magic.
Friend of Valcerin. Tranquil greetings, Caraval. You will forgive me if I seem awkward. We rarely entertain guests here on Artaeum. I am Caloris. Right Master Ichesis told me a great deal about you. I suspect he has plans for you within the Psijic Order. The Right Master holds you in high regard. That is proof enough of your worthiness. The Psijic Order requires practical wisdom, outside perspective. Unless I miss my guess, you can provide both. You would be a worthy addition to our ranks. Eager to begin? Good. Eagerness is just what we need. The first cluster of time breaches appeared on the Isle of Summerset. You should start there. Go speak with my apprentice, Josaja, in the Athenaeum. She will provide the tools you need, a map, Psijic seals, and the augur of the obscure. A noble heart and a solemn commitment to the good. Achieving membership in the Psijic Order is a serious and lasting endeavor. You must be prudent, but fearless, withdrawn, but compassionate. It is not something to be taken lightly. Too reclusive, I fear. The truth is that we have grown old, Caraval. A mixed blessing, I suppose. Long years of seclusion have allowed us to study and learn, but always at the cost of our relationship with the outside world. We need youth, vigor. As your knowledge of the old ways grows, so too will the rewards. For instance, we are prepared to teach you new and powerful spells. As in all things, the best teacher is experience. This matter of the time breaches will act as your exam. Only this. Purge yourself of selfish intent. Membership in the Psijic Order will bring you both prestige and power, but such honors often lead to Wegnithir, the bad change. What you do in the Order's name, you do for others, never yourself.
Yes, can I help you? Right. You're the Order's new initiate. I didn't expect you so soon. Things here on Arteum are normally, snailish. I transcribed our seer's visions onto the map there, and collected these Psijic seals. The augur, however... I don't. Please don't tell the lore master. It tricked me into dismissing the binding charms that keep it here, in the Athenaeum. Then it popped like a bubble and vanished. It escaped before, but never on my watch. Mercifully, yes. I just scried its location. It looks like it reappeared somewhere on the shores of Waston Coraldale. It didn't take long for some sea elves to scoop it up and squirrel it away. You'll have to steal it back. I am sorry, truly. I'm indebted. You'll definitely need the augur on your quest. Without it, you'll never find those time breathers.